Hello, good evening, everybody. My name's Martina Gray, and I teach health and social care here at the college. Um, so I believe that you come in to talk to me and my colleague because your child wants to study health and social care and to find out a bit more about it. My colleague, who you'll be able to see as well, is called Sam. Sam, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi all, thanks for coming to the session tonight. I'm Martina's colleague. We are the Health and Social Care Department at ESHA. So looking forward to answer some of your questions tonight and give me some guidance and support through that.
Thanks, Sam. It's a little bit of a strange thing for us because we can't see any of you. I understand that you can see and hear us. So we're going to be taking any questions that you've got by you typing them, and we'll do our best to answer as many as we can. I'll just start off by saying a little bit about health and social care here at the college. Um, most most exams at the college and courses at the college are A levels, and the BTEC Health and Social Care is equivalent to either one A level or two A levels, whichever choice you and your son or daughter makes. So if they're doing a double award, it would be 8 hours a week, 8 lessons a week doing health and social care, and they do one other A level or another BTEC. If they're just going to do a single award, they will do 4 hours a week with us, and then they will do two A levels or another A level and a BTEC. So that's it in a nutshell, really. Obviously, you'll probably have a lot more questions to ask about it. So if you'd like to start and type in any questions you've got, um, you can type as many as you like and just fire them at us, and we'll do our best to answer them. So thank you. Oh, it's not letting me, my arrow's not coming across. Sorry. I've typed the message, it's not letting me send it.
Would you like me to read the question out and we can talk about it so the whole group can hear the answers?
Um,
Would that be an option?
it's supposed to type. Oh, hang on, I've gone back to it now. It's supposed to not talk. Then, oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Um, oh, actually, I can just reply, can't I? I don't have to type.
No,
I'm
you can
really,
just.
I'm really sorry, guys. This is such an unusual concept for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could just talk. I don't have to be typing. Yeah, that's a really good question about if they're doing a double BTEC in health and social care. Um, the you could go on to do any of the health and social care type roles, nursing, midwifery, paramedic. It's very broad what you can do. And your third subject would, you could really do anything as your third subject if you were doing a double BTEC in health and social care. Some of the good ones that traditionally go with health and social care is sociology, psychology, biology, all the ologies really. But we have had students that have gone to a very good university to study nursing have actually done music or dance as their third subject. So it does need to it's very dependent on the student and what they want to get out of it. Coursework based or are there exams? It's about 50-50 now. If you're doing the single award, so that's you'll do 2 units over the first year and two over the second, and that will be 50% coursework. Two of the units are coursework, and two of them are exam based. So that's changed quite considerably in the last 3 or 4 years because it used to be very coursework based. If you're doing the double award, you do five coursework units and three exam units. Um, Let me have a look. Is there any overlap between health and social care curriculum at GCSE? Yes, there is. That's a good question, Darcy. Yes, there definitely is. If your son or daughter has done GCSE, um, the first unit they do when they come, they will have almost certainly have done at GCSE level because it underpins everything else. It's work lifespan development. So there is an overlap. It's obviously a much um, harder level, but it does stand them in good stead if there's a big jump between GCSE and BTEC and A level, but it will give them a really good starting block. The exams, that's a good question. They're most of them are 90 minutes long, an hour and a half, and they take them in the January and the May. With a chance for a resit. If they take them, for example, this January, we've got nearly all of our first years are doing 1 or 2 exams. Um, and if they don't get the grades they want, they can resit it in the May. If you're doing the double award group, you do a big exam in your second year. I've got my students preparing for it at the moment. It's a big research-based unit, and that is 3 hours long. And it's slightly different in that you have a month of preparation for it as well, leading up to the exam in January. That's only those that are doing the double award, and that's only in the second year. Um, the prerequisites in terms of subjects, not only English and maths at GCSE, we insist on them having. They need to have 5 GCSEs at a 4 or above, 2 of which must be English and maths. We do like it to be English language, although occasionally we will kind of accept English literature if their language is at a 3. And the other thing that we will do, if they've got a 3 in their maths, we will still let them, but they've got 4 others to go with it, and we will let them still start the course and they'll resit their maths alongside it. And we see maths as being a lifelong journey, really. So they will have lots of attempts while they're here. So the pressure's taken off of them, really. They can do the maths. They probably get it in the October, first of all, of their first year, if they got a 3 at school, and then they would get another opportunity the following May. Let's see if I've missed any. If you sit the exam and get a lower grade, the final outcome would be your highest mark. So you don't have to worry about getting a worse paper and a worse mark because your highest mark will stand. And we always help the students just to decide on whether to resit or not, because you could get a merit, but you only be from the point of view of the UCAS points awarded for university. It may be that it's only 1 point under what you would have got if you've got a distinction. So it's not always worthwhile you retaking it, really. And we will advise, because the problem is with retaking it, if you don't really need to, or you're only talking about a few points difference, is it's taking you away from other subjects you might be studying. Sam, do you want to answer the work experience one?
Yeah, and I just wanted to add something on with the resitting, is because the lessons move on to another unit as well. You don't have delivery on it, and time you sit it in May, it's been a long time since you covered anything in the classroom on it as well, and that's why it's hard, but also quite hard to get to better your grade, because your focus is not on it. You have coursework units to do then. Well, I was thinking with the work experience, Martina, you got your community volunteers, and
Yeah, yeah.
which is, I know, is another course they can
Mm.
do, but it complements the health and social care setting quite well. So I didn't know if you wanted to link the
Yeah,
two
we don't.
together.
The course we do here, single and double award, we don't have a work experience unit within it, although we are actively encourage students to do work experience. And a lot of my second year students have got jobs in related industry, which will help them to do, some of them paid employment. But what Sam was just alluding to, we do complementary therapies here in the first year. All of your sons and daughters have an opportunity to choose a complementary study, which is an hour a week for 30 weeks. And it's things like scuba diving, learning French, dance, all sorts of things. And one of the things, Sam, what is it you do? You do the netball, don't you?
Yeah, I did a netball team for the
Yeah.
college.
But I do a community volunteer um, unit for so I've got 44 students that have just gone out into the community, and some really diverse um, volunteer roles. Some of them are working in food banks, nurseries, primary schools, charity shops. It's quite diverse, and they can choose their own if they want to. A lot of students go back to their secondary schools or primary schools to do a volunteer placement. So that's something that every bit from the point of view of work experience actually part of the course that's we don't do that, but we will actively. It's very important that they gain experience working in the sector if they can.
We offered our, or we focused on second years this year, but we did offer up to first years that there was some work experience opportunities during half term. It was on end of life care, and it was a
Mm.
short course, wasn't it, Martina? You found it, and we offered it to students. So stuff does come to us, and then if we can facilitate it or pass information on to students as well,
Yeah,
getting
that's a
industry.
really good point, because a lot of students didn't want to do it because it was in half term, but the ones that particularly wanted to be pediatric nurses and things like that, they took up the opportunity to do it, and they really gained um can we do two A levels and a double BTEC? No. That would be the equivalent. It's a 99% no, because that would be for A levels. Now, some students may want to do four A levels if they've got very high grades. So that's something we could discuss. I don't personally think there's any merit in doing it, because the courses we do here, all of our students go on and end up getting accepted at university. I think last year out of 28 students, 27 and went on to do. So I don't think it's necessary to put yourself through having to do four subjects, equivalent of four subjects. But certainly you could do a single BTEC and two A levels, and we would help you with those choices when you enrol. Um, Neurodiverse students, it's probably better if you speak to our special educational needs department. We are very supportive of it. We have got several students on our courses um, that have got autism and other recognised diversity, and they are very well supported. But it's probably in this, we've only got 25 minutes here, so it's probably better I can put you in touch. Katie, if you want to know any more information, I can put you in touch with the Special Education Needs Department that can help answer that in a bit more depth. Is that okay? Yep, I would do that. I will pass it on to marketing that you want that, and they will be able to contact you directly with that. But when you come in for enrolment, you will have that opportunity to speak to the Special Education Needs Department as well. It's very supportive, very inclusive. Um,
Another question was, what course would you recommend that alongside health and social care to be a paramedic?
and I would any of them really, but if a biology or a BTEC in combined science would probably be your best route. That would really complement. And I only really say that because paramedic, we have a lot of our students go on and study paramedic science. That it's quite competitive, um, because there's less opportunity of having placements and things. So I would suggest in that case that you do something that complements it 100%. So that would be probably one of the sciences. And we do a BTEC combined science, because to do A level biology or physics or chemistry, you do need to have a six or above in your science subjects. But that's something we will help you with when you come for enrolment. We make sure we got the best package available for you, because we want you to achieve and we want to support you with your aspirations as well. Health and social care help with being a doctor, I would say no. To study medicine, you are I you couldn't rule it out completely, but I think, if you want to study medicine, your GCSEs need to be very high, and so it would make sense for you to do A levels in those science subjects. Really, I think it would weaken it slightly. It probably could work at a single health and social care level, because if you get a distinction star in health and social care at the end of the year, that's equivalent to an A grade in an A level. So I wouldn't rule it out, but you might be slightly, your choices of um, universities to study medicine would be weakened, I would suggest. So I would say it's a no, a tentative no. But please speak to us again when you come in for enrolment if you would like to explore that.
Another good question here. Where's it gone? Does the course mostly lean towards employment in nursing slash midwifery, or is teaching, etc., an option?
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good question because it's very, very diverse. Um, Teaching, definitely. A lot of our students go on to do primary school teaching from it's very well respected, the Health and Social Care BTEC. And you can go on to quite diverse subjects, veterinary nurses, anthropology. I've even had some students go to physiotherapists, paramedics like you've already identified, and teaching, definitely. I've had a lot of students, say a lot, about four last year, two males and two female students went on. One of them's just emailed me to say he's got offered a place to be a police officer in the Metropolitan Police, and he starts his course in January. Um, so criminology courses, we get a lot of students go on and study criminology, which could then lead to the police force. We've had students go and do nursing in an army with the army. So they end up with an army career as well as a nursing career. It's very, very diverse. It isn't at all, or just, I can understand why people would think that it's just nursing midwifery, and of course it does lend itself very well to those health professions, but no, definitely not. It's very, very diverse.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get to Darcy's question. She's posted it twice, so but there's one more before that from Claire. Um, can you switch to double from single if there's an issue with one of your A level options? So if
That
there's
sounds like somebody's had another child come to this college to ask that question. Who's asked that question?
someone called
That
Claire.
sounds like somebody's got some insider knowledge there. The short answer is yes. Oh, right. No, you haven't, Claire. It sounded like, because we have had that a lot over this year, particularly. And the it is a really good question. Yes, yes is a short answer, and we have had that, but we have to have spaces, and the courses do fill up quite quickly. It's like a double award. We had, for example, we had 5 students at the end of the first year that want to change from single to double, and we could only take 2 of them. So the other 3 had to stay on their single award. For 1 or 2 of them, that's worked out better for various reasons. They're going to do a foundation at university. Um, so it is a really good question, but yes, we can. We don't very often get people want to go from double to single. I think if they come to us on a double, they like the course and want to stay. So I would suggest thinking very carefully about your choices and speaking to us about it before enrolment and on enrolment day. So if you do know that you want to do the double, um, then do it right from the start, because you won't be disappointed then. Um,
And then Darcy, I don't know if you can see the question. What percentage of the curriculum is comprised of health topics and what percentage is social topics?
yeah, that's a really good question. We've only actually got 2 units that are directly linked to health. We've got one called physiological disorders, and we've got a nutrition one. They are much more general. That's why it isn't just for potential nurses and midwives. The first one we do is lifespan development, which is talking about our development from pre-pregnancy right through cradle to grave, talking about every life stage. and it's really good for moving forward with lots of different topics. We do a big research unit in the second year, which is tending to research a health topic. So that's linked to health. Sam, do you want to offer some insight into the unit, another unit that we teach?
Yeah, I'm a double award. I'm doing nutrition with them at the moment, which I think complements the lifespan development and other topics. We can pull it all in and all together and focus on a bit of nutrition. At the moment, I'm teaching the human lifespan development to 3 of the groups, and that's exam based in January. And there's quite a lot of psychologists and theorists that link to that the students find really interesting, because it's not stuff that you normally they wouldn't have covered in GCSEs, and it's like how people can pick up language, how we form attachments, and yeah, much more. So I think there's a nice balance between stuff that is the foundations for the course and other stuff that's a bit more specialized but also interesting and can like make the package of units we deliver more rounded.
Yeah, and we also do a health promotion unit. We do a safeguarding unit, and we do a unit, an exam unit I'm doing with 3 of my groups at the moment is working in the health and social care sector. So there are some things that are linked to health and social care, but in that we do talk about other job and vocations. Um, is it just me and Sam that teach the course? Yes, it is. It's a growing department. We're both full time. Um, I came. We both came from Richmond College actually. And we Sam was sport and health and social care, and I'm a midwife by profession, so I came to teaching quite late. I particularly loved the teaching side of my midwifery, and so seek to do something that so I can support students through their choices. Do you need to pass science to do the course? Um, they do suggest that you have a biology or science GCSE at a 4 or above, but I do take students without it. There are lots of universities that would take you to do nursing and midwifery and those allied health professionals without the science GCSEs. You will get a chance to take it again if you want to, but I will talk to you about that separately. If you do only get a 3 in it, what your options are. So we will still take you without the uh, science GCSE, but we would recommend that you resit it if you can. But
Sarah asked how big the class sizes are.
yeah, they are the most we can take is 22 students. And we have gone up to 24 with the work class I was talking about, the double award group, but that's because they're second years and we did feel like they would be able to cope with 24 in the class and we would be able to cope. So the maximum is normally 22. We have got some of our classes are 18, but the mostly it would be 22, and we've got space in our classroom. We've got a dedicated computer room. Um, the pass rate for last year, the pass rate was 100%, Dan. We have a really good pass rate. Um, the Our high grades are usually really high as well. High grade would be classed as a distinction or a distinction star, which is equivalent to an A or a B grade in GCSE. And our merit grades overall equates to a C grade in an A. And so because we've come through 2 COVID years, you may have noticed the our grades have been very much centre assessed. So this is our first year this year where we're going back to um, the students' own work, what they so our pass rates are very good, and our high grades have been maintained throughout the COVID crisis. Does that answer your question, Dan?
Takes us up to 1/2 past and the questions seem to be running out, which
Yeah. Is
is
there anybody got
perfect
anything they
timing.
really want to ask? We're just running out of the time we've been allocated. I'm happy to take it for another 5 minutes if you've got any other questions. Also, me and Sam would be more than happy for you to contact us by email or ring in the college. We'd have a chat to you about things. We think it's really important that you're doing the right courses for you. I think the last thing I'd like to say on it really is the thing I've found quite a lot is that some people think doing health and social care is a dumbed down choice. Um, completely disagree. The 27 students I had last year will go to university. They're going to be the midwives, nurses, paramedics of the future. So it's a very valuable career they're going to get out of it. Universities really recognise it as being a good stepping stone between school and going to university. So I think it makes perfect sense to me. If you know you want to do something along those allied health professions or teaching or police officer, it makes perfect sense you would do it this way. You're not going to be chasing the grades with an A level. If you're doing three A levels and you know you want to be a nurse, you're going to have to make sure that you get really high grades in your A levels. um, with the BTEC, it's easier. Well, easier is the wrong word, but you're more likely to be able to achieve those higher grades with good attendance and making sure you hand your work in on time, listening to our feedback. So that's the last thing I'd like to say on it. If you are thinking you'd rather your child did A levels, have a rethink about it if they want to do one of these courses that we've been talking about. Thank you very much, everybody, and we look forward to seeing you again if your son or daughter come here.
Seeing them for the first time.
Yeah, seeing them the first time. Yeah, yeah. Thank you,
Even
Claire. We hope it was helpful. It seems an unusual way of doing it, but at least you don't have to come out after a day at work. You get to stay at home.